control and abortion. So what's going to happen when you take away abortion and birth control and you have a bunch of pregnant girls and they're not fit to take care of them? You put them all up for adoption and only let straight couples adopt them? Like, what's going to happen when somebody gets raped at 14 and gets pregnant because I've been sexually harassed? And that's not really a fun option. Like,
Right.
I don't want to have a baby anytime soon. I'm not married. I'm not responsible enough for a kid.
Gotcha. No, that's a good question. You don't have, you've been reading things that don't exactly, well, not exactly, they don't reflect my position now or ever on the issue of contraception. Let's just sort of walk back. I am a Roman Catholic. I do my best to live my life in conformity with my faith. The Roman Catholic faith teaches, in Humanae Vitae, that we should not interfere with conception. We should not practice contraception, artificial contraception. That's what the church teaches, and that's what I and my wife of 21 years abide by. And that is my moral judgment, but it is not one that I feel that should be or will be imposed on anyone. So I would not vote, and I've said this repeatedly, although this doesn't seem to quite make it into the left-wing blogs. I have said repeatedly that I would not vote for banning contraception. That is an individual decision. Contraception can and should be made available. I, because of my faith and faith convictions and because of what my church teaches, do not participate in that. As far as the other issue, which goes back, let's go a little deeper, there was the Griswold versus Connecticut case, which I was asked about, which created a new constitutional right, which in my opinion is judicial activism, just like Roe versus Wade was judicial activism, just like the Kelo decision was judicial activism, which is a group of people creating rights in the Constitution that don't exist. We have a way to create new rights. And that way is through the constitutional amendment process. I don't know how any reasonable person can say that the founders intended a right to an abortion in the Constitution when they wrote it. I mean, it would be beyond fantasy to think that that's what the writing of that constitutional document meant. So, if the Supreme Court wants to change things, then what they should say is, we write papers about it and say we think this is a bad idea, but it's up to the people to make these decisions. And so with respect to contraception, I thought the Griswold decision was wrong. I don't care what it was about contraception or anything else. It was just creating a right that didn't exist. And so does the state of Connecticut, in that case back in 1953 I think it was, have the right to pass this bill? Well, the answer is yes, they have the right. They shouldn't do it. I wouldn't vote for it. I think, I can't imagine, I think at the time of Griswold, I think contraception was universally available. Laws weren't enforced, and that's one of the reasons you don't want to pass laws that aren't enforceable laws, even whether you may think that they're moral or not. And so, understand that just because you say something you believe is morally wrong doesn't mean it should be illegal or there should be any kind of laws about it. And I don't believe there should be any laws about it.
What about a conservative activist court?
Hold on.
But what about a conservative? Because corporate personhood is a conservative. Corporation is not in the Constitution. I'm sorry. I am interrupting, but a conservative activist court is also part of what you're saying, isn't it? Isn't the word corporate? Is the word corporation in the Constitution?
I believe that justices should be originalists. They should go with what the original intent is, what is written there, and if there are going to be changes, then you make changes through the process that is established in the Constitution.